Hello folks, it is TIJ Gaming. Welcome back to the Football Manager 2022 beta with Burnley. It's time for part 3 today of Season 1 of the series. And we take on Leeds first off at Elland Road. It's going to be a tough game. Leeds have, surprise in Football Manager, started quite well. So it's going to be a tough one. But then we host Norwich in the second one. And to be honest, Norwich haven't had a bad start either. But I still think that is a must-win game. So let's have a look where we are. We're 12th in the table, which we have got a game in hand. And a lot of the teams around us will have a look at the results from earlier on today. This is a televised match. We've sort of swayed my thinking of picking this one over picking Aston Villa. This one is televised as well as the Norwich game, which comes up next. But let's have a look at what we've done since you guys last with me. So in the first 2 episodes, we covered August fixtures, and we were unbeaten. We had a good start, culminating in that first win of the season against Crystal Palace. Not the most convincing thing ever. We did score early on. They had a man sent off. That really categorised the match. We then come back after the international break. We have made one signing, which I'll show you in a little while. But we beat Watford. Funnily enough, the goal scorer both scored and got sent off in the same match. Again, another narrow win against Watford. Ashley Barnes scored a penalty. Funnily enough, was sent off 15 minutes after that. You can see our XG was higher. Yeah, I guess that a lot of that is because of the penalty. But as you can see, our defence played well. Brownhill with a good game. Wasn't too bad at all. So probably deserved the result on balance. And then we hosted Man City. And I have to say, we played really well against Man City. I was expecting this to be a 5 or 6-0 game, but looking at the goals we've conceded 2, as you can see, as a maximum in any fixture, so we are tight at the back. I think that is restricting us up front. Again, we haven't conceded more than 2, but equally we haven't scored more than 2, so it's ups and downs really, but we got a point out of Man City, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. We did go to 5 at the back for the last 20 minutes. It was 1 each. You can see that Bernardo Silva got a goal back. We started with the usual 4-4-2. We did bring, I'm sure we played with 5 at the back at the end. I'm fairly positive we did. And that heralded a result. You can see that Man City were the better side. But it was a point, as I said, I think we are still going to be in relegation scraps. So I think every point will matter. We then went and played Man City in the Cup. To be honest, quite a bit of rotation. And did get a result there. But that really proved pivotal in this match against Everton. We rested players, and it really made up for it. We got another point away from home as well at Everton. I thought that was a good result. And bearing in mind, you know, after, 6 games in the Premier League, we were still unbeaten. 4 draws, 2 victories, so that takes us to 10 points, which of course is where we are at the moment. Then we lost our first match of the season against Tottenham. Again, not a disaster. It was a silly goal given away, to be quite honest, to Son Heung-min. One that just come across the area. Nick Pope was a bit out of it, and we conceded. But it was, it was quite a tight game. Yeah, Tottenham had most of it, but not too bad in the end. And then we played Chelsea away from home. A quick fire double, which didn't help. But apart from that, we were in the match. Obviously, Chelsea had most of the ball, but we were in the match. Following Balogun got his first goal for us late on. But again, narrow defeat, nothing too terrible. And now we enter a period of 6 games, which is going to be important. Again, as you can see, after those 6 games, we've got Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool in the same fixture list. So those games aren't going to really be winnable. But I think that if we can get 4 points out of today's episode, it keeps us going and just shows how pivotal results like the Palace and Watford ones are. All right, they're close, but think about it like this. You know, if we hadn't have got a result against Palace and Watford, we'd have been 1 point above Wolves in the relegation zone. I mean, Palace are doing terribly. West Ham have had a bad start. I've just noticed Palace's goal difference is so bad because they've just been beaten 10-0 by Liverpool. Ouch. I don't want to play them anytime soon. But yeah, you know, those 2 results so pivotal. So, on to transfers. We haven't done anything special, believe me, but we have brought 1 player in midfield, which I said would really bolster us. And I think it's a good signing. We have signed Jean-Louis Bellegarde, 23-year-old Frenchman. You'll also notice we've got the face pack in here, which I think really works a treat. Midfielder, again, not the best player in the world, but potential to be a 4-star player, which I think is superb for this team. Signed for 7 million, no add-ons or anything like that. Not had a bad start to his career here at Burnley as well. Look at the coach report. We want to change that to central midfield, please. There we go. No? Is it not going to change the squad comparison, or have I crashed the game? Possibly. Let's go to the squad screen then in terms of squad depth. I want to show you where he is in terms of our defensive, our midfield structure. There we go. He is technically bottom of the pile, along with Dale Stevens. Ignore, Dwight McNeil. He's never going to play there. But if you look at potential ability, you can see he's second on the list. Ashley Westwood, Jack Cork, Dale Stevens, all ageing. But Bellegarde brings in that attacking midfield centre. You can see that he's a Mazzala, advanced playmaker as well. You know, he's got good stats all round. He looks a good player, good solid player. He's on 30 grand a week on a 4-year contract, 23 years old, exactly the kind of player we want to try and attract here at Burnley. No one's gone out though, everyone stayed in. And let's get on with the first match of the episode, shall we? So we play against Leeds, again staying with the 4-4-2 formation. The only thing I haven't shown you, I'll explain in just a second. Now, Nick Pope's in the net. Loughton, Collins, me and Taylor start at the back, and I kind of elevated my noise for Collins a little bit because our main centre-back is out. James Tarkowski is out he was out for 4 months when he first got injured. When did he get injured, actually? Report, history, injuries, there we go. Yeah, 3rd of October against Tottenham, broken ankle. So he's out for the next couple of months, which isn't going to make things easy. But I'm happy we signed Nathan Phillips on loan now as a backup. But Nathan Collins gets him above him for today's match. Been interchanging those, but Ben Mears still obviously keeps his place. McNeil, Westwood, Bellegarde starts, so you'll be able to see him in action. And Maxwell Cornet start with Balogun and Chris Wood up front. I think it's Harry Walsh in the comments made a very good point. I was moaning we haven't got a 15, 20 goal a season striker. Chris Wood might be that player. He's been consistent for Burnley if you look in the 4 seasons he's played with them. He's got 4 goals already in the league. If you look at the goals we have scored, most of them have been Chris Wood. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4 matches he's scored in. He is our top goal scorer. So I think that, Harry, you have got a point there that he might just be our 15, 20 goal a season striker. We have brought Balogun in today. Only one change from that Chelsea game. Jay Rodriguez played there. But Rodriguez hasn't really played all that well. And it very much feels like if Chris Wood's not playing well, nobody's really there to pick up the pieces, if you like. I'm going to send my assistant to that one today. I can't really be bothered for this. But Leeds have started well. They're a young side. A lot of people think that Bielsa's, good coach, that they play some good football. Our form isn't the best, but when you take into the account the opponents we've played, it's not a surprise. I think to get 2 points out of those 4 games, he's good. I'm happy with that. Again, we would have probably been down in 15th, 16th. So, just to get those few extra points is really going to matter. Also, I am testing out some new recording recording presets. So if these are any better, let me know down in the comments. I think it's going to be a tough one today. I think Leeds are naturally the kind of side that Football Manager would praise almost. I mean, Henderson got a hat-trick for Liverpool. 6 different goal scorers. Yeah, Koyate got a sending off, but what they were already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-0 down at half-time. Jesus. I'm just trying to gloss over the fact that Leeds are absolutely plumbing us here. I mean, they've had 10 shots, 62% of possession, but can we get one? Oh, McNeil just off the crossbar. I've seen a lot of that in my FM22 adventure so far. A lot of shots either going off the bar, the post, almost too close. But considering Leeds have had all the ball and all the domination, really, they haven't made too much with it so far, and I think that's one of our credits with how we are at the back. I'm just about to disprove that for you, because I feel like this has got all the traits of a Leeds goal, but let's see. Jack Harrison on the wing, Matt Loughton trying to mark him, but I think this is going to go past him into the box to Rafinha, and it looks like that might have hit the hand of either Charlie Taylor or Maxwell Cornet in the area, and is it going to be a penalty for Leeds? That Villa game's going to be tough as well. It was a tough one whether to come back for Leeds or indeed for Villa at home. Click with the penalty, it is scored by Click. There was a penalty for, I can't remember whether it was Tottenham or somebody else, had a penalty and Nick Pope saved it, but unfortunately on this occasion didn't quite happen. But we are being dominated here, unfortunately, and it looks like our bad form, again, the pundits have called it. Yeah, we're not going to win if we don't shoot. I think that is fair enough to say. I think we need to push our players up the field a little bit more, be a little bit more confident. At the end of the day, we're 1-0 down. If we don't change anything, we're going to stay 1-0 down. I think we pass into space, a little bit more direct. Again, the higher tempo is fine. Don't want to change anything too drastically, because I think if we do, then we risk it going the other way. Of course, Leeds have even more of the ball. I am going to keep it on cautious as well, because I find when we go to positive, we start to become a little bit sloppy. But if something doesn't change, again, we've had an XG of 0.1. We haven't been in this game from an attacking standpoint at all. And I think we are going to bring Balogun off at this point for Ashley Barnes. Been out the side since his sending off, but didn't have a bad start to the year. We're also going to bring Goodmanson on for Cornet, who so far, unfortunately, again, hasn't really made much of an impact. at Burnley. But again, it's early days. You know, we've got to give him time. Change Westwood to a supporting role. And I think we have to go now positive. I think I'm going to try and demand more out of the players, see how they react to that. Not too well, to be quite honest. But this could be a chance from the corner. Westwood, into the area, puts it into Ben Mee. It's Bellegarde who actually gets his head to the ball and doesn't do anything with it. But you can see, in the last couple of minutes, we are starting to come into this game just slightly. Chris Wood's tired, so I think he is the man to bring off then in that case. Matic Vidra or Rodriguez? I'm going to give Vidra a run out because I feel like I haven't given him enough of a chance. Again, you'd have probably heard me saying that, you know, I'm not really a fan of Vidra and, you know, he's probably just a championship player, but if you don't give him a chance to prove himself, then he's never going to. Again, looks like a very sort of narrow result here, but in fairness, looking at Leeds' domination, it could be 2 or 3, but lovely ball from McNeil to Matic Vidra. It's off the bar! Why didn't Goodmanson go for that first time? It was an open goal. I mean, to be honest, we could have won this football match. We really could have done. Interesting. Last 5 minutes again. We're going to push forward. Might as well give it a go. Play over 4-1-3-2. Again, you know, the worst we're going to do is to lose by 2 rather than get a late goal. So it's always worth the risk. Again, as I said, every point's going to count, especially with a club like Burnley this year. And if we can sneak a point out of this, we'll be very, very fortunate. Rafinha is the box, though, and it is now 2-0 to Leeds. That is going to finish the match off. I said it was going to be tough against Leeds, but you just never know whether we could get a result or not. Yeah, but the most pivotal match in this episode is going to be the one we take on Norwich in, 100%. We haven't been in this football match. I'm going to say to the players that I'm disappointed. I don't like what I saw there. We weren't really in the match. We didn't get going. That's exactly right. But equally as it says there, I'm going to end the interview there. You know, as it says, you know, we need time. I mean, they're bragging again, you know, well, you know, make it 5 without win. We were never going to beat, you know, Man City, Tottenham or Chelsea. Everton possibly. Leeds again, not much of a surprise. But that being said, if it goes poorly in the next 4 matches, the excuses will start to drop. And I think that 3 points against Norwich, our first win since the Watford match, would point us in the right direction. Big game this one against Norwich. It really is, as you can see. You know, we win this one, we go back up to 10th and we're mid-table. We lose this, we go down to 13th. Obviously not in the best run of form ever, and look how close it is now in that bottom pile. I mean, Wolves have won the last 2 games. That's been crucial for them. And you can see Newcastle now on 8 points. West Ham and Crystal Palace are really adrift. I mean, we've already played Palace. When are we playing West Ham? Unfortunately, not anytime soon. So that's not going to be a guaranteed victory there. It's going to be tough against Norwich. Norwich have had a better start than I thought they would have had. Who have they beaten? That's the big question. They've beat West Ham, they've beat Leicester, and they've beat Brighton. But again, they've lost the last 2 matches against Southampton and Watford at home. I think we should be winning this one. A couple of changes in the side. Unfortunately, the squad have come to me and said they're not happy about the dressing room atmosphere, which I think is harsh. You know, we're only a couple of games in. You know, well, 8 or 9 games in. But considering the fact that we've had a poor run of games, we weren't going to get much out of it. I don't think it should come as much of a surprise, and it worries me that, you know, the metal's been tested to the squad, and they're kind of faltering straight away. You know, they've got to have a positive attitude because we are going to go in runs of games and not get much out of them. So that is a bit of a concern. A couple of changes though from the last game. Connor Roberts comes in for Matt Loughton. A is a bit of rotation. B is a little bit disappointed he hasn't been starting, and he's a good player, so you know we'll put him in there. I think he's been playing for the youth setup and playing quite well, but then that's one thing playing for the under-23s. It's another playing for the main squad. In the midfield, Goodmanson comes in for Corner, who's just not got started really here, to be quite honest, yet. Jack Cork comes in. Ashley Westwood picked up a yellow in the last match, so he is suspended for this one. And Matic Vidra comes in for Balogun up front. But yeah, we've gone with a positive mentality rather than counter-attacking. I think we need to take advantage. I think we might go and we need to show everyone what we're all about. I agree with that. I think that ultimately we might concede a couple today, but as I say, I'd rather draw 2-2 than kind of whimper to a 1-0 defeat. It's a very similar team, and I think that's one of the problems. If it's going well, then great, you can play with that team. and succeed. A little bit like Leicester did in their championship winning season. But I think at the same time, we haven't really got the depth, and that might be a problem. McNeil, though, to Vidra, and Vidra gets an early goal 3 minutes in. It's exactly what we've done, to be honest, in the games we have done well, so that's a good sign. Got an early goal on the board. And I'm quite happy picking Matej Vidra now. Good throwing from Connor Roberts. Admittedly, it was a bit of a mess from Norwich defensively, and probably one of the easiest assists Dwight McNeil will ever get, just heading the ball on, hoping that there's somebody there in the area. And Matej Vidra was, to get an early goal. So, good start for us. And but it does seem that Norwich are having most of the ball, which is a little bit of a concern. But it's only early days. You can't really judge it too much. I'm not... There we go. You see, we've come straight back into it 25 minutes in. All right, they've had a little bit more possession, but, Man City had a lot of possession against us. What did they do with it? And it seems that, we've had the best of this match. Norwich have had a lot of the ball, but in the first half, not really challenging too much up front. The XG of both sides, pretty poor. We must have just had a good chance, because our XG has just gone up quite significantly. Is it going to be now that we get our second? Collins, Ben Mee. Again, keeping possession so far, I'm happy with that. A bit more positivity would be nice, but again, we don't want to lose the ball and give away a silly chance. Taylor, Ben Mee, it's a patient build-up, but don't want to be too patient. Again, it's all about balance, isn't it? McNeil, though, on the wing, playing on the left wing today rather than the right. McNeil hoofs it in. Can't quite do anything with it, but we challenge again. Cool. Good ball out to Goodmanson. That's the sort of positive play I want to see. Goodmanson, back to Roberts. Roberts into the area for Chris Wood, who scores his 5th goal of the season. I thought Matej Vidra was going to make it 2 there, but I'll tell you something. Connor Roberts has played really well today out on that right-hand side, helping Goodmanson out, who's not a natural at right wing, bear in mind. He is as an attacking winger, but not right midfield. But I think that playing with 2 attacking midfielders is a step too far. I think we'd be caught in behind. But it seems to have been a good decision today to go to the positive mentality. We've challenged far more up front. We deservedly leave at the break. They're doing brilliantly. Keep going. I can't complain. The defence have all played well. A lot of green indicators, which tells me the squad are playing well in general. And yeah, it's been a good start. I'm happy with this. And I think if you'd have offered me 13 points at the start of the season, out of the first 10, I'd have probably took it. Again, if we can get results against the sides we're supposed to get them against, and scrape a couple of draws like Man City and Everton, I think we've made a good start. Vidra into the area, can't do a lot with it, but we are definitely, although the possession stats don't state, the highlights certainly say that we've had far better of the play. Norwich looks sloppy though. Bellegarde, Taylor, back to Ben Mee. Taylor puts it to McNeil. What can McNeil do with this? Put it into the area for Goodmanson. 3-0. This is excellent. This is just the reaction we wanted after a poor run of form. Norwich, as it says there, find themselves in a real mess. And we're 3-0 up. It's the most amount of goals we've scored so far this season. And as I said, this was a pivotal match. I think if we start losing to the likes of Norwich, no offence to them, but again, it's a match that if we want to stay in the division, we've got to win. And probably be quite convincing in winning. Dwight McNeil's played well, but he's looking tired, so I'm going to bring Rodriguez on for him. Again, I just don't think Cornet's hit the ground running, to be quite honest. I think we're going to go back to counter-attacking now, not being so attacking as we were. Sit back a little bit. Be great if we can keep a clean sheet. That would really help. Chris Wood's tired, so we'll bring him off, give him a bit of a rest. And we will bring Balogun on for him. No good in being a target forward though. We'll just play him as an advanced forward like he wants to be. Ozan Kabak back to the keeper. Grant Hanley, terrible clearance. Bellegarde, Rodriguez, into Matej Vidra, it's 4-0. I think that one might just be offside. Looked like he was playing off the shoulder of the last defender there. But it could be tight. We could see this one count, but it might just be ruled out. Let's see. Listening to the video referee, and it's been awarded. Well, I thought it was tight. But let's see. 4-0 up against Norwich. This is perfect. Bellegarde puts it to Rodriguez. I thought this was tight. He was playing off the last defender, but I think he might have just been played on. We'll see on this tight offside call in a minute, unless it does just show the goal. Yeah, here we go. Bellegarde puts it to Rodriguez. Yeah, he's on. He's been played on by the last defender. He's level with Grant Hanley, and Ozan Kabak's playing him on. So, good stuff from Matej Vidra, and he might be a player that we might consider in the future. Again, been saying, oh, well, he's not Premier League quality. And then he's gone and scored a double today. In some aspects, you know what, I don't care who scores, but he's played a good match today. And I think player who probably does deserve a rest is probably Bellegarde. He's played a good run of games. We haven't really got anybody to replace him, though. That's the problem. So we'll bring Aaron Lennon on for Goodmanson. Aaron Lennon's played decently when he's been called upon, really has. And as we end this match, this could be, a real tide changer. It gives the squad a huge boost. We go now into a group of games which are tough. Every game in the Premier League's tough, clearly, apart from Norwich. We're going to a tough run of games, but a run of games we can get something out of. Try and cement that mid-table position. Again, as you can see, in the next month we've got Villa, Brentford and Wolves. Matches we can really win. And I think we probably will come back towards the end of the month. Do the Villa and Brentford matches off camera. They are higher up the league, so it's going to be trickier. Then I think we come back for Wolves and Brighton. Again, I'm not too interested in showing these big matches. We're not going to get much out of them. I think we'll come back for Wolves and Brighton in tomorrow's episode. But good stuff there. Disappointing against Leeds, but again, the belief is back against Norwich. Really good stuff. If you enjoyed that, folks, make sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Comment your thoughts as well, and subscribe for regular, daily at the moment, Football Manager 2022 content. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.